Hello and welcome to the Full Force Weekly, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury Editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80. In this episode, I bring you all the news from the past week in the world of G.I. Joe. So what is it, me? It's the Full Force Weekly, a day early again. Sorry, guys. I think I did say that it was going to be a day early on the last news burst, because I'm going to be busy on Saturday. I'm getting in the spirit of the World Cup. I'm donning a jersey, and obviously repping Sporting KC for the in-laws. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. Hope everyone's had a good week. It hasn't been too ridiculous. Already with a super chat. Thank you, Dustin. You are asking a question early on. In addition to Zanya, Armada, Cadet Deming, are we getting any more named Cobra female figures not yet revealed or named for 2026? Yeah, definitely. So yeah, thank you very much, Dustin. Appreciate the super chat. Always do. And thank you very much for kicking us off well early on this Friday. Hello to Newfie and Christoph Black and Bad Wolf Media and Diecast Nick, Scott Skeen, Interrogator. Hello, guys. Hopefully everyone is cool. So World Cup's kicked off, hasn't it? So fun times. And if you might not give a crap, that's totally fine. I've been enjoying the matches, although I did miss. Is it Canada earlier today? I missed that one because I was also busy today. Plus it's Friday, so obviously work has to happen, of course, as well. And getting this one prepared has been a journey. Lots have happened just today that I've had to throw in, and in fact, a couple of hours before. Actually, I didn't notice it, but I think it's been up for a few hours. Skybound had posted a preview of issue 330, which we'll talk about in the comics news early on. Not really much else to banter about, I would say. Should we just get into it? Because there's a lot to get into. It's going to be a long episode, I imagine. Let's have an explosion and start with a pretty robust comic section. W has asked, any 118 love today? Obviously, considering the news that happened today, yes, I will be definitely talking 118 a little bit later. Now, comics news, Skybound updates. We've had New Comic Book Day this week, which we went from for 2 weeks in a row, we didn't really have anything Joe Energon universe related. I think we had a Transformers issue, but it was we had a Transformers issue this week. It was really sparse for the last 2 weeks. So it's not surprising that this week it's been absolutely chock-a-block with comics. We'll start with the New Comic Book Day, and I've broken this up into a Real American Hero and Energon universe. So Real American Hero issue 329 dropped this week, and that was another banger. And we got basically a little bit more development on the Dawn Moreno Snake Eyes takedown situation, where we've got this sort of like Easter egg Trojan horse element that's kind of like embedded in the kind of Snake Eyes memory owners' heads, courtesy of Dr. Venom. So he's left something in there. It's kind of like come to fruition now after Dawn was in an explosion that kind of knocked it loose in her mind. Dr. Mindbender was alerted to this, obviously, as Dawn was the trigger for this by the looks of things. She was the trigger in which the explosion kind of like knocked this memory loose. That notified Dr. Mindbender back in, I don't know where he's actually located. Is he on Cobra Island? I don't know where he is at the moment. He's with Revanche anyway, isn't he? I don't know. I think it might be on Cobra Island. Because Cobra's in Springfield, isn't it? So that's basically enabled him to sort of like go, okay, Dr. Venom's done something here, and look into it. And him and Alpha 001 sort of investigate this sort of like virtual world that is this memory implant of Snake Eyes, which is an attic in a house with loads of sort of like Snake Eyes homage items that sort of like, remind you of, his dog tags to remind you of the Vietnam War, the picture of his sister that he used to wear on his hat with the bullet hole through it. The weasel skull necklace is in there. There's a few call outs to his history in the A Real American Hero comic. And so so basically Dr. Mindbender and Alpha 000001 like lock in, go in VR style, and they try to work out what the hell's going on themselves. They find the Easter egg, and in the meantime, Dawn is back at the pit. She's voluntarily going into lockdown. They're putting her in like a Law and Order of taking her to sort of like a prison element of the pit, whilst Roadblock and Jinx are with them as well, kind of like escorting her in. But unfortunately, before she can get locked up, it kicks off, and also kicks off for Throwdown. It's Throwdown, isn't it? I always forget his name. Other Snake Eyes, basically Wade Collins, and Snake Eyes, who's with Scarlet. So Snake Eyes is with Scarlet in the High Sierras, and Timber's just turned up as well, which is really nice. Timber the Third has just turned up. In quite a sad moment where he just appears at the door in the rain. I don't know why though. I don't know where Timber the Third had gone in that period of time. But in any case, so they're all together, and when this kind of kicks off, obviously they're all compromised, and Snake Eyes, in actual fact, tells Scarlet to run. She doesn't really take heed of that, and her and Timber are just looking at Snake Eyes as he's kind of like gone mad. Sean Collins, yeah, of course. Sorry, Ryan, it is Sean Collins. Yeah, Wade Collins would be his dad. Yeah, sorry, it is Sean Collins. Sorry, that was a typo of a vocal typo, if you will. So basically it finishes on that kind of cliffhanger of all the Snake Eyes memory owners are kind of like in this kind of like compromised position, and all of the people around them are also in this compromised position, and that's where it left off. So we don't actually get to see Roadblock because he was knocked out by Dawn. She's so like effective. She knocked out Roadblock, Jinx, Law, and Order, and got away. So yeah, so I guess in the next issue we'll see Roadblock stalking her in this kind of fashion, trying to find her in the pit. But we do actually also get a preview of 330, and as you can see, it kind of kicks off. The cover now on this one has Scarlet and Timber outside in their classic guises, and Snake Eyes in his classic uniform. But when we left off, they weren't really in that sort of situation. And as we see going into this issue, Snake Eyes is putting his gear on, so he's getting like fully ready, and Scarlet and Timber are like, what are you doing? Timber knows when someone's, when the mind's gone. Cheers, as all good doggies do. And Mindbender's there holding the Easter egg, which is effectively this thing that's gone off, that's kind of woken this sleeper sort of like mind control up, which was kind of expected. I would say the whole thing was expected based on the information we had initially. And then the preview goes into sort of like, basically Scarlet and Snake Eyes' confrontation. I don't want to read too much into it though, because I like to read it for the first time in the actual issue. So and it, like the 5-page, like they've been doing 5-page previews for a while now, but I could have sworn that in the past it was a case of one of those pages was the cover and the other page was like a showing all of the comics. I'm sure they did the full 5-page thing as well, but it seems like a lot, doesn't it? 5 pages seems like quite a lot of a preview. Like, I'm cool with just 3. I'm cool with just 2. Hell, I'm cool without any preview. Just, I'll wait for the issue. But yeah, kind of interesting. Interesting? What does interesting mean? My Friday workday involved one guy going to jail for 30 years, a guy and gal getting arrested with a stupid amount of illicit substances, and a dog that was rescued from a house fire. Wow, Bad Wolf, with the bad news. That's crazy. And the dog's going to make a full recovery. Good, thank you. Appreciate that. That's insane. Wow. Well, yeah. Hopefully you can chill out just watching this now. Yeah. So anyway, we get the other two pages of this preview are back at the pit, and it's obviously the guys trying to figure out where Dawn has gone and how to kind of like get her without causing any issues. In chesting, that's the early phases of an Aliens movie. You've got a good point there, Bad Wolf. I like it. Anyway, bit of dial tone in there, bit of Stalker, bit of Duke, and is a mainframe as well. And who's that in the bottom right hand corner? Not quite sure. I could read it, but I don't want to. So anyway, there you go. So we've got obviously the cover from Lee Weeks and Dave Stewart, which I really like this cover. It's kind of like, I could see this one going down as quite iconic Joe cover, because it's like, just the way it's framed. Scarlet and Timber obviously sort of like, in that sort of like window of frame with Snake Eyes and the knife sort of like causing that. But yeah, I could see that is going to be one of those ones where it's instantly recognizable, easy to remember too. Cheers. Nice one. And then also there's another cover which I can't actually see from this distance, it's too far away. There is another cover with Storm Shadow on the glider, the Gears of Joe variant by Steve Beach. It's funny, from this distance it looks like Storm Shadow in a jail cell, in the corner of a jail cell. The doors opened up and the lights come in. In actual fact, it's the light on the it's the light on the glider that he's on as well, which is funny, that one. I think I find that quite interesting, that I know that's where my mind went, even though I've seen that cover a million times. So there you go. That will be out July 8th. Not too long to wait either. What we just under a month before we see issue 330, and it comes around fast, I'm telling you. Right, next up, we'll move into the Energon universe, and in this case, just announced in the week, not just announced now, but Void Rivals 25 is getting a second printing, and it just kind of continues this rather impressive run that Skybound are on, and the reprints they're having to do for these kind of issues. I believe, I can't remember what is part one of this. Is the first part of the Quintesson War, isn't it? So yeah, a really, really solid issue, and one that gets a new cover by Jason Howard, which is pretty neat as well. So if you're into Void Rivals, then you'll be happy that they're also selling very well. What's really cool, and talking about selling, we'll be talking about in a second, is the Mask comic. I had high hopes for it, but I feel like my expectations are going to be blown out of the water, because hot damn. Let's move on to New Comic Book Day for Transformers as well. Issue 33 was out. This was an interesting issue. I enjoyed it very much, but it's definitely one of those sort of like level set, reassess and catch up sort of issues, where they're basically recapping some information. They're giving you like Optimus Prime, now just Optimus. He's not a Prime. He's kind of going through this new sort of phase where he's not a Prime anymore. He's given up the matrix of leadership to Elita 1. So Elita Prime now, and they've kind of gone their separate ways. And yeah, and it's kind of like catching up with all the factions, seeing what's happening, seeing what's going on. Wheeljack has gone over to part of the Cybertron Shard, which is in the middle of the ocean somewhere. He's been dropped off by the aerial bots and Thundercracker. And yeah, basically ends up finding something it's all a bit like cliffhangery, like, oh, what could he have found? And you don't find out, unfortunately. Saint Brutus says, just joined. Has it been mentioned that King Cobra Commander is back up for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse? Not yet, because we're only in the comic section. But yes, I've been posting that stuff all day on the socials. which has been great. Yeah, 1 o'clock that went up, and and it's not just on Pulse, but it's also on Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, fan channels, basically, and anywhere good fine toys are sold, etc., etc. We'll get to that a little bit later on, St. Brutus. Hopefully, it's still in what's the word? In stock is the word I'm looking for Pulse as well, because I know people don't like it when it goes out of stock quickly. Anyway, yeah, so Transformers, it was an interesting issue. We kind of got like some backstory of where people are. It's kind of like it was like reframing everything, sort of like, you know, when like TV shows would do like a recap episode, sort of like that, but not as boring as that sounds, because it's actually recapping a time that we haven't technically seen yet. So it's sort of like going through like the new how Optimus is dealing with everything, basically. And yeah, it's cool, very cool. Right, next, and that we get, of course, 34, a preview of issue 34 of Transformers, which is going to introduce Arkeville, Dr. Arkeville, and obviously General Flag is involved heavily in this one. Is anyone else getting the head of OSI vibes from General Flag? I'm reading him. His voice, Venture Brothers, is the OSI guy, like the guy that's the head of the OSI, who ends up kind of like cross-dressing, I think actually becoming a woman at one point in the Venture Brothers, and changing factions in more ways than one. And I love that. That was so, honestly, that show was, I need to rewatch it from the start again. I love the Venture Brothers, like a huge fan of the Venture Brothers. And it just, I'm hearing his voice when I read General Flag. Anyone else do that? Anyway, just probably just me. But anyway, great cover. And in this preview, we see General Flag, and we see him conversing with Optimus. Again, I'm not going to get into it. OSI, sorry. Did I say CSI? Did I say CSI? Like crime scene investigation? I thought I said OSI. Diecast. It's the GI Joe. It's the fake GI Joe that's in the Venture Brothers. There's like a whole thing where they do like a fake GI Joe kind of intro episode, and you get things like Shore Leave and loads of other characters that are sort of like, you know, plays on GI Joe characters, sort of like how Community did it, but Venture Brothers did it first. And that was Sphinx, I believe, are the bad guys in that. I did say OSI. Okay, thank God. You had me going there for a second. You had me made me think I was going mad again. Man, now I'm going to read Cobra Commander as the Monarch. The mighty Monarch Butterfly. Ryan, yes, indeed. Yes, Venture Brothers. Go Google it, Diecast Nick. And of course, yeah, so we only get a sneak preview of Transformers, which is funny. We get like almost the entire issue of A Real American Hero as a preview, only 2 pages of this one. But I'm kind of glad of that. I'm glad of that, because it means I'm not going to be it's not going to spoil it for me. Yeah, it's just an animated TV series, Venture Brothers, mate. Go check it out. Arkeville is giving Arkeville is giving Love Child of Doc Brown and Rick Sanchez. It's okay, so it's Rick Sanchez versus I forget the name of the head of OSI now in the Venture Brothers, but you know what I'm talking about. That's the cover. It's a Rick and Morty situation as well. It's amazing. Great shout, by the way, Scott. And some, again, I think I've covered all those. Kitty said I've covered those covers already. But yeah, July 8th as well for Transformers. So it's going to be a busy week, that one. Full of great stuff. Now, the big news coming out of local comic book stores this very week, this Wednesday gone, was the blind bags. Not even just Mask issue 1, which, can I say, is an absolute tour de force of comics. I loved this, and I think it's only going to get even better. And on top of that, it was a record-selling issue 1, which is, you know, probably not surprising. I think G.I. Joe still got more than Mask for issue 1. So I think G.I. Joe still holds the overall record, but it broke records. Well, I don't know what those records are, but it did well in its first appearance, that first issue. And I think the the blind bag situation is again also has a lot to do with that. We'll get into the blind bag, don't you worry, and we'll get into the other uh the addition to the Energon universe, which is now looking more and more like Revolutions, IDW's Revolution than it ever did, right? We've had Action Man recently revealed and classified. We've had Gem talked up a lot. I wonder if they're going to get all of this stuff kind of mushed in to Sky, but I hope so. The more the merrier, please. Getting humanoids in there. Let's get, so what else can we get in there? Visionaries, of course. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's they've just done it a more slow burn. That's all they've done. Like IDW came out of the gate with everything mushed together, whereas these guys have gone, oh, let's take it easy. Let's take it slow. Anyway, so a great issue. Sets up the Mask team, sets up the Venom opposition. You get sort of like a bit of insight between Matt Tracker and also he very, very quickly in that issue, Flag tries to sort of insinuate that Matt Tracker is a family man, which means he has a child, which means obviously Scott Tracker might be somewhere in the near future. I'm just throwing that out there because that popped up in the issue where Flag is almost using it as leverage to try and sort of threaten him without threatening directly. And Matt Tracker goes a bit mad and says, like, how dare you, don't bring my family into this, you know the situation. Then he kind of gives us a lot of backstory and that sort of response as to, you know, how he and Venom were on the same and Mayhem were on the same team previously. Mayhem's just absolutely insane and a conspiracy theorist and effectively just well, in some cases though, in this particular universe, some of the conspiracies are spot on. And I wonder if some of the conspiracies that he's being referenced that are being referenced in there will lead to anything, because they talk about like underground lizard people. Could that mean like Inhumanoids? They talk about alien conspiracy, but obviously that is a real thing in this universe. But he is like a tapped kind of mental guy, and he was basically saying that he used to tell Matt Tracker everything because he took a shine to Matt, and Matt kind of did enough to pretend that he liked him. So very like, I don't know, there's a lot of depth going on with this particular what's the word, relationship between the two. And because of that, you get this sort of like, he's basically been arrested. Matt Tracker, it starts off, he's in Thunderhawk, he's being chased by the army, and he ends up being roundup. Although it's very like, oh, he's clearly got himself caught on purpose, and you feel that vibe throughout that issue. And then lo and behold, yes, he has been sort of he's done it on purpose. He's got into that situation. He's talking to Flag, and one of the other there's the other soldier that's in the room with them is one on the Venom payroll, and turns out to be, has like a helmet and everything, and they have a fight in the interrogation room. Matt Tracker wins, saves General Flag's life. General Flag says, you're back on the payroll, and he says, no, I'm not. Go F yourself. And basically just, Thunderhawk comes and picks him up, and he leaves and gives General Flag a communications watch, which is like Agent 46 written on it as well. So he gets that and is like, he's part of the network now of mask operatives, rather than the other way around, which I thought was really nice flex. It was like Matt Tracker saying, sorry, General, you don't have all the cards here. You can be my, I'll call you, sort of thing. Very, very awesome. It's a great issue. Slyrax and Vanessa Warfield also play a big part in that issue, and obviously Mayhem. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to start seeing characters and development and the storylines and the vehicles. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with Mask, and it looks absolutely sensational, this issue. Now, let's talk blind bags, because not only did they have the Mask issue 1 out, but they were also giving away Mask issue 1 blind bags, which the blind bag had this gorgeous sort of like foil effect on it, which is lovely. And in the blind bag were, yes, these ROM issue 1 There's more, of course. This is just one of the options that was in there. But Rom, issue 1. So Rom makes his first appearance in the Energon universe in an all-new comic, and they did it in a Mask #1 blind bag. Who'da thunk it? Now, I'm sure this will also make its way into a regular, into regular store release, basically. I don't think it'll just be hidden away in the blind bags, of course. That would be mad. It's also got a lovely finish on the cover. It's like a, crazy awesome cover in that blind bag. And there he is. There's Rom in the back in the game. So we've now, like I said, we're collecting Infinity Stones, aren't we? We've got obviously GI Joe. They're the bedrock. You might argue Transformers are, but go F yourself. I'm just kidding. I'm a Transformers fan as well. It's just I'm more Joe than I am Transformers, but I'm very much a huge Transformers simp. So yeah, Transformers and Joe. Then of course Mask in kind of infiltrated very nicely. Rom, and that's it. Oh, and of course Void Rivals, which is its own thing that is also in this universe. So Void, they're actually adding to the already collected back catalogue of Hasbro owned properties, aren't they? So yeah. So I'm kind of hoping we have had mention of what's the word? Prismos or Prismosians, I believe was the actual term that was used in, I think it was Void Rivals or a Transformers issue. And so therefore the definite idea of Prismos exists, the planet that the Visionaries are on. So I feel like Visionaries could very well be on the cards here. Not just that, but the fact that Super 7 dusted off their Visionaries very recently. Well, they leaked out, didn't they? They dusted off their leaks. What? But yeah, so I think Visionaries might happen at some point. I don't know that for sure, but I would love it. I mean, we've got Rom now. I feel like Action Man could possibly happen, especially considering the classified figure we've just had. We're in a 60th anniversary year. Do they reveal that Action Man's going to be showing up in this? Are they going to do that, or are they going to keep it like a bit tighter? I don't know. I don't know, but I am just really excited. Inhumanoids, yes, Scott. I definitely want to see Inhumanoids incorporated into this sort of, this sort of universe as well. And I think it could. I genuinely think it could. It makes more sense in Humanoids than most of the ones, most of the others that are in here. It makes more sense than Rom, I would say. Personally, I love Rom though, and Rom's over there. Actually, the Marvel Legends Rom is in my classified display, so now it perfectly works. Oh, Micronauts doc, yes, of course. Micronauts is the other sort of is the other brand that was supposed to be in the same universe, which I definitely think can work in the kind of Void Rivals, Rom, Transformers kind of situation. That can all exist in that sort of like in that arena of play, can't it, with Transformers and even Visionaries as well in that sense. All sort of like distant planet, alien sort of situations to a degree. But yeah, Micronauts is the other one, Doc. I can't believe I forgot that. But yeah, I don't know. I should just put the brakes on and just enjoy this at the moment. We've got a Mask ongoing. We've got Rom. Like, come on. What is going on? It's amazing. So anyway, that was exciting. Also, they popped in a preview of Mask issue 2 in the blind bags as well. So you might have got one of those as well, or instead of, which is obviously, it's just a sneak peek of the next issue. But cool if you can get it, and a great cover as well, by the way. That Switchblade looks phenomenal on that one. Micronauts did team with Rom in Marvel, Doc, and also Micronauts teamed with Rom and Joe and Transformers and go on and so on and so forth, and Action Man and Visionaries in the Revolutions series with IDW, which is crazy, isn't it? That I didn't think we would get that. I didn't think we would ever get to that point, and then we got it with IDW. Got figures and toys, which was really cool. Only a box set, but it was still really dope. I didn't think we'd be back here Robotics is a great shout, Noir Gatherer. That wasn't obviously included in any of these, but we have done a robotics full force episode back in the day. We did a bunch of long form audio episodes with kind of interviews and, from the vaults and all that kind of stuff. It was really fun. And robotics was a good one. Pat enjoyed that one for sure. Anyway, that's Mask, the issue 2. That was also in the blind bag. And the other thing, actually, no, not the other thing. Based on this issue 2 with a different cover, of course, which is only the preview, we actually get the preview first look anyway. They posted this on the whole, on their socials, on their holes. Gross. Don't forget Star Brigade Lunatics. Well, they're in G.I. Joe white, so it's already technically an option. It's already on the table. Micronauts classified figures will be small. They probably would be. Well, we've had Micronauts in 1/18th scale and they were tiny. So you could just either use those. In fact, I might bust that out and just use those Micronauts minifigures with my G.I. Joe classified lineup, because they would scale better, wouldn't they, technically? Anyway, yeah, let's have a look at the actual preview itself. This is a 2-pager, I believe. And we see a little bit of Matt Tracker communicating with Gloria Baker. And we also see her car there as well, Baker 7 written on it, which is really dope. But yeah, so we get this, we get the kind of our first introduction to Gloria. And and that's very awesome, of course. So yeah, I'm just excited to see where this Mask comic goes. I really am. And we've already gone through the covers for these on previous episodes. Some absolute belters. Some of the covers are just insane. Does Switchblade have twin rotors in these books, or is it just that a weird art style on the cover? I don't believe it. I don't believe that it has twin rotors. I think it's just the cover. I'm pretty sure it's just regular one rotor blade, but it might be that they've got like a on top of each other situation, sort of like some of those is it Sikorsky helicopter that's got that sort of like double helicopter blade thing that's on top of each other, rather than, not I'm talking about the Mamba, but like I'm talking about literally on like parallel with each other sort of thing. But no, I think it might even just be, I don't know. It's hard to say. I haven't noticed it in the actual comic having any different weird extra situations though, but I could just have missed it. Anyway, July 8th is going to be huge, isn't it? Can't wait for July the 8th. Now, the other thing they threw in there, this is really nice, actually. This is a Mask Origins issue 1, which reprints and collects basically the first appearances by Mask and Venom in the Energon universe. It's like I read that on the screen. So you had, all of the times they showed up so far in, I think, Energon Universe Special, Energon Universe Special again. In fact, I think Matt Tracker was in the next issue after the Energon Special as well, in like the G.I. Joe maybe. But and obviously Mayhem was littered in the Transformers issues, sort of working with General Flag before he kind of left. So there have been loads of really good sort of like Mask kind of little appearances, and they've just basically mushed them all together and put them in a little Origins comic, which I think is a really good idea, like a little sort of intro to how they've introduced themselves into the old universe, which I think is great. Doc says, I want Lara Croft and Zartan crossover. Are we talking physically? Because I will talk about a little bit of my excitement when Zartan and Gem met in a little while. We'll be talking about a lot. This is a Gem heavy episode, by the way. I'm going to breeze through the classified stuff, by the way. I don't care. I'm more interested in all the crazy stuff that's been happening today than anything else. So yeah, Mask Origins 1, a lovely little addition. And I think that's one I really want to get my hands on. It's going to be difficult though, obviously. I think they've rinsed through those blind bags. And I didn't get the opportunity to go to my comic store on that day, which is such a shame. Anyway, cheers. So that is the blind bag scenario. The Origins preview of issue 2 and issue 1 of ROM all showing up in different blind bags for Mask issue 1. Good luck. Go check them out if they're still available. go try, but I don't think they will be now. Anyway, that's that. Available the same day was a Mask 1 second printing, because again, like I said, the records have been broken, and they've done massive sales on the issue 1, so it got a second printing, and we got more covers, which is very, very cool indeed. Yeah, horrible for variant cover collectors though. Oh my god. Imagine being like a completist cover collector for the Energon universe. That's like being a completist on all of the sand in the world. Individual grains. Go. But yeah, crazy pants. I wonder if we would get a classified Arkaville. You never know, Knock. That would be kind of cool, I think. And he's like very like toyetic. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got a really cool like head sculpt, obviously like the crazy kind of dome and everything in the hair. You could really go to town on that for sure. Badwell says, yeah, that's the style I mean, Chris. 1 rotor shaft, but 2 rotors like the weird Sikorsky or the Russian Black Shark KA50, or is it Car 50? Thank you, Bad Wolf. Yeah, that's what I was thinking with the rotors, but I don't know if that is the case. I think it might just be some sort of artistic, license that they've taken themselves there, or it could be in there and I've just not noticed it. Classified's better than comics, says Venom. That's your opinion. I also feel the same way. I kind of don't really have a preference. Like I want it all personally. Gem and Globulus crossover, hilarious, Ford. That's amazing. Anyway, that is everything. Is that everything for the comics? No, there's one more. Hasbro's new Energon universe expansion posts records sell out. That's what I was getting at earlier, guys. That's all. You can go check that article on CBR, of course. Yeah, but that is awesome sauce. And that is the end of the comics at 37 minutes. Not bad. I've still got a decent amount of time to get into everything else, and there's a lot to get into. So we shall move on with a bit of movie news. Wow, 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 wow. Anyway, yes, we have got movie news for you. I will be going into this in more depth with Mr. Justin Bell at some point next week, hopefully. But we have got a new writer on the next Transformers movie, which will be, this is where it gets really confusing. I don't want people to get to the point where it's like, oh, is he writing the Joe Transformers crossover? No, apparently not. So this is the writer, Jason Fuchs. Got to say that carefully, haven't I? Also, I had to really spell check my my copy on the bottom of this graphic earlier, because I was like, it could be the K in that font. Anyway, so yes, this new writer has been hired for Transformers, Jason Fuchs, who I think did Welcome to Derry. Welcome to Derry. So he's kind of like one of those. He's like an It guy. No, he's one of those sort of. He's a bit of an in-demand writer, I would say, or just one that's like making moves. And with that said, they have hired him, or Paramount have hired him for the next Transformers movie. Now, a couple of things to be very clear on here. They have multiple Transformers projects in development at the same time. They have Donnelly, the writer, on the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover, I believe. And they have Jason Fuchs for the sequel to Rise of the Beasts, but it will not continue off from the G.I. Joe reveal. So I imagine this is my thought process on this, okay? I can't believe Chris just threw out that stunner of an It guy joke and then shrugged it off. Yeah, I've got higher standards usually. Like I've got higher standards. Don't even what? I haven't got high. I said that. No one else said that. I don't know what I'm arguing with myself. Yorktown Joe says, Gem is my name. Cobra La is his game. Crossovers to blame. Brilliant. We'll get to that bit later. But I want to get focused on this one first, so I'm not giving any people, because what I keep seeing are clickbait posts of new Transformers Joe crossover writer, and it's not, apparently. So here we go. he is going to be writing the follow-up to Rise of the Beast sequel. It's going to be a direct sequel, but it's not going to carry on from that GI Joe kind of like end scene, right? What my thought process here is they're going to slow burn the Joe Transformers, coming together sort of situation or crossover. I David R. Hopefully Jason doesn't fook it up. Amazing. Do I think we can get a Gem and Cold Slither crossover? Too late, Doc. It's already happened. There's no child reachable fruit around the McLeod home. True, there isn't. Anyway, so what was I going to say? Yeah, so my thought process is that they'll do another Transformers movie with hints of G.I. Joe in that universe, right? And then we'll get the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover to follow. I feel like they're probably taking a leaf out of the slow burn Marvel Cinematic Universe book, because I think that makes more sense. That kind of slow build, hype, get people sort of excited, drop it in here or there, and then hit them with like the big old crossover, get the stakes lined up, get the enemies in position, get everything in place, and then put them back together again. That's what I think should happen. Gem Cold Slither is easier than Gem versus the Misfits. I think so as well. Yeah, absolutely, Matt. After Masters of the Universe, sadly pitiful box office opening, all these 80s properties might be in real risk of scuttling. It's not a bad call, actually, Ryan. Yeah, it's a shame as well, because the movie's really good, I think. I thought it was really enjoyable. Kind of like a nice love letter to Masters of the Universe fans. I have some, I think some things could have been different, or they could have approached things a different way, but and I'm only really talking about some of the sort of feel of it felt quite, until they got to, when they're in Eternia, it feels great. I think that's where it shines. But when they're on Earth, it feels like they're just in like a tiny studio. Like everything felt very like small scale. And I feel like you need to, with those kind of big movies, you really need to be sort of like filming it in a way that makes it feel larger than life. And yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. Good point as well, Diecast. Transformers is evergreen, and they'll always be trying to churn a Transformers situation out. That's the case, no matter what's going on in the sort of like nostalgia climate. Anyway, yeah. So my thought process here is that Jason Fuchs obviously going to be doing this Transformers sequel, which will not take, it will not continue what was left over with that G.I. Joe kind of thing. It'll just be Transformers. And my thought process is they're going to be slow burning that, just dropping it in every now and again. They're not just going to go straight in with the crossover. They're going to build it a little bit. And that's something that I really, really do hope they follow through with, because I think it would be great. It would be a great way to do it. And hopefully, yeah, would get everything sort of moving. And yeah, by the time that like a Joe Transformers movie was on the cards, we might be looking at already having the Energon Universe animated series in full swing, and that might make some decisions very much for them. Anyway, a little bit more detail on there. Fuchs' script, God, I've got to be careful. Is one. They've really did not check this, did they? This is from the Wrap. Fuchs' script is one of many in development at the studio, as Jurassic World writer Derek Connolly is also writing the Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover movie based on the Hasbro toy lines for Paramount. Actually, that was from the Wrap, but this is I can't remember what article this was. The untitled new movie will continue the story after 2023's Transformers Rise of the Beasts, where Anthony Ramos's character Noah Diaz was offered a job with the G.I. Joe in the film's post-credit scene, but I will add, it will not deal with that particular scene. They're just explaining what happened at the end of Rise of the Beasts in here. As Transformers fans may recall, 2023's Rise of the Beasts finally delivered some major pieces of the franchise to the big screen, including not only the Beast Wars characters, but the villain Unicron and a connection to the G.I. Joe franchise. According to today's report, though, the new Transformers movie that Jason Fuchs is writing is one of many in the franchise that are in the works, which also includes the Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover. That in mind, the crossover film, being written by Jurassic World's Derek Connolly, will seemingly be the piece of the story that picks up from that cliffhanger tease, meaning Fuchs's Transformers may go its own way. There we go. I just want to be very clear about that, because I think that I'd rather be giving you what I think is the real information here. And having read every article about this, it's weird how some platforms have taken the information in the actual article and sort of gone all sort of different directions with it, made some assumptions that aren't really there. Whereas some of the earlier articles were definitely paying attention to the previous information, and I that's what I wanted to make sure we did. So anyway, Justin and I will probably go over this in a bit more detail. I'll be talking to Justin about that in the week next week, and maybe if there's any more movie news, we'll talk about that as well, or whatever we want to talk about, because who cares at the end of the day, right? Anyway, that is the movie news for this particular episode. It's been a while since I bust out the movie graphics and music. So should we have it one more time? Because I think that's a banger. And then we'll switch to regular news, but I like it. And it's also Transformers related. So that's perfect, isn't it? It's like the was it the segues, just absolutely professional up in here. Yes, Transformers and Gem are collaborating, and this was earlier in the week before we had even more fun Gem collaborations, which we'll get into in a second. Scott says, what? Online journalists took a headline out of context? Yes, they did. Anyway, cheers. So let's get. Oh, also, there was a recent post saying, "Oh, the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie is back on," and the source was the news of the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover back in like last year. And saying, man, like I saw that doing the rounds. I'm like, I'm not touching that. It's not news, guys. That is a clickbait situation that has no actual, it had nothing to it. It was a weird story that was making the rounds. I don't know why that was doing that, because like I said, it was the original source for the article that came out and said, oh, it's back on, like, but it never went away. It's been in development the whole time. Anyway, these things really bug me. And if I get something wrong, then it haunts me for ages, and I'll try and make up for it. But like, it just seems like everyone else is just pouring stuff out and not really caring about what it actually means. Do you know what I mean? Not, it's also not necessarily the what's the word, it's not the most important thing in the universe, is it? It's not like it's not like we're dealing with friggin healthcare, or like some heart medication or something like that. No, it's toys at the end of the day, and comics. Like it's low stakes, and so I'm not that fussed if I'm not really losing sleep over people posting like clickbait stories or whatever. It is what it is. That's welcome to Earth, right? Anyway, here we go, guys. Transformers Gem collab. So an SDCC, that's San Diego Comic Con, Pulse exclusive, because it'll be Pulse after San Diego Comic Con. We're getting this beautiful blaster with tapes, redeco, and incorporating Gem in terms of color and so on. So this is kind of a fun. I like it. It's Blaster, of course, the Autobot Blaster. It's been a while since we had one of these kind of collab. Well, actually, has it, or have I just not been paying attention because we haven't had any G.I. Joe ones? When was the last? Let me know in the comments. When was the last collab? The Hasbro collabs, because I feel like I may have just not been paying attention. Wasn't there like I feel like there were actually quite a few this year that I've just completely put out of my mind. In any case, it's not important. This is, though, and it's really cute that we're getting this Gem Blaster, and I I may have to get in on this. They even showed it on the stream as well with that beautiful, like holographic or prismatic, box as well. Very nice packaging. Fun little redeco. I'm very much into this, and yeah, it's gem in it. I'm a gem simp. So what are you going to do about it? I've got skills. What are you going to do about it? Um, yeah, I love it. And look at that. It's like literally Billy Blinders. Every time you look at the box, it's just going to be like it's like getting like Jubilee's power or Dazzler's doing you. I said Jubilee because she also did the sort of like fireworks display, didn't she? Electric fireworks display. Cheers. Anyway, love this. And related, couple of things. Yeah, there was a TMNT crossover shelf presence. There was the what was it, Party Wallop, but that was a decent time. That was a decent clip ago. I think there have been some since. I just put them out of my mind or just not been paying attention. So yeah, the apology tour is happening. Again, SDCC. If you're fortunate enough to be going, there'll be this will be happening on the 23rd, which is the Thursday at the House of Blues in San Diego. Doors open at 7 p.m. So if you are doing SDCC and you're around for this, it's definitely something I wish I was available to do, because I'd be all over this and love every second of it. A lot of people had a great time at the Cold Slither concerts, so I am not surprised that they are sort of carrying this on, incorporating Cold Slither, including Gem, and of course Knights of Cybertron, because this is the Transformers the Movie apology tour, apologizing to everyone who suffered the the trauma of Optimus Prime passing away in front of our very eyes. So yeah, it's fun, it's awesome, it's gonna be amazing, and I can't believe this is happening. But more importantly, how good was the Gem Cold Slither video that went up earlier that redoes the Gem intro and has Zartan making out with Gem? Like, I kind of, did I cheer at this point? I might have cheered. Just awesome, man. That video was so much better than it had any right to be. They incorporated cut like the Dreadnoks, the Thunder Machine. They incorporated a lot of Cold Slither into the animation as well. Like, they kind of did old school what do you call it, animation sort of style to kind of match. So like this, for example, like drawing Zartan instead of what's it, oh god, I've forgotten his name. I'm not interested. It's only Gem I care about. But yeah, like, just nuts, absolutely nuts. Did I see your comment on the IG post sharing the story of this photo? I don't recall. It's all been a bit of a blur. I'll have a look now, though. You said when Gem broke Zartan's heart, that's when he shaved his head into the orange mohawk and started shooting people with his arrows again. I like that. Rico, thank you, Wilfredo. Yes, I like that a lot. Jeremy said it was Zanya's stepmom. Sorry, Zanya's stepmom is Gem. That would be a cool crossover, wouldn't it? They always go for the bad boys, says Real Zim, indeed. Didn't know about this, says Doc. Go check your spell checker. What did I do? Go to YouTube and go watch this now, because it's amazing. Don't even bother watching this anymore. You're on YouTube already. Kill this video and watch the Gem Zartan Cold Slither in Gem intro. It's brilliant. And then it gets to a certain point and it goes live action. Yep. Live stage footage with both Gem and Cold Slither. It's so good. Anyway, that's pretty much it all for the Gem. I was just really excited to talk about that, because it's like out of absolute, well, I guess not really out of nowhere, but it still is out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting the video to drop, and then like today as well with everything else going on. Jeez. Anyway, that's it for Gem and the SDCC Blast crossover and the Apology Tour at San Diego Comic-Con. Man, I'm jealous of all the people that are not only going to be at SDCC, but are going to be able to go to that as well. I'm very jealous. Have a great time. Right then, let's have a quick message from our sponsor, and then as we come back, we'll be talking Super 7. Order your Battle Action Force, the Deluxe Treasury Editions from TotalToyBooks.com in the UK and Europe, Skeletron.com in the US, and of course Amazon for the rest of the universe. It's Rio, sorry, yes, of course it's Rio. And is that new vocals for Gem? Yes, I believe they are. It was redone from the ground up, I believe. And Craig Ducker says it's actually Zarana. Just saying. Yeah, so could you imagine? That would be the worst, actually. Bit niche. Yeah, there you go. So Super 7 Reaction Plus Wave 9. Well, we got a teaser yesterday. Was it yesterday or in the week? Maybe Wednesday. It was at some point of the Deep Six artwork. And so we had that kind of pop up, and usually what happens is shortly afterwards, either the next day or soon after, the wave goes up for pre-order. And lo and behold, it did. So we can follow these patterns nicely and kind of get ahead of the game sometimes. And of course, these were all leaked a while back. Lady J, Deep Six from the comic, the Air Viper, whatever it's called. I've forgotten the name of the Viper now. The Viper Gunner, that was it. The Viper Gunner, which obviously first showed up in the Mothership, and which never came to fruition. And of course, Zartan or Comic Zartan, which has color changing capabilities. Amazing stuff. Badwall says it's new vocals, but still Britta Phillips. Sorry, I should have been clear on that one. Yes, effectively, Jem has done it again. So we've got Deep Six in his kind of like sailor garb with the hat, the kind of life vest, preserver vest, the blue undershirt, collared undershirt with another kind of sweater over that as well, and then the blue kind of pants and the white shoes with an axe and a sunbow rifle, which is nice. What rifle does he have does he even hold a rifle? I only remember him really at the helm in that issue. I don't really remember anything else that he does in that. But anyway, Hits Me says, my dad, Deep Six. Yeah, like anyone's fishing dad right here. Hits Me says she is still killing those vocals. That live show should be amazing. I've heard great things, by the way, of not just Cold Slither, but also Gem. And I know a lot of you guys in here have probably actually been to some of the concerts and heard this firsthand. So you'll know better than I would. He does need a fishing rod, Scott, doesn't he? Big time. He could then join, is it Giraffe Pants, Leatherneck, and that Bazooka figure where they all look like they are going fishing, basically. Yeah. Brilliant stuff. Now, we also get obviously the carded in renders as well. I like the card art for Deep Six, but I think they've gone a little too harsh on the shadow on his eyes. Kind of, it almost like they're trying to make it that mysterious Snake Eyes version, classified from the LRRP comic pack from years ago. It kind of almost feels like they've done that on the artwork, not on the figure, obviously, because you can see it's not really, it's just a natural shadow that would be cast from the hat. But I think they've kind of gone a little too harsh on that on the artwork. But I do like the artwork for that Deep Six. It'd have been funnier if they'd have put him at the helm of this and given him an actual steering helm as well. That'd be kind of cool. And of course, the back of the card with the Deep Six file card on there too. I haven't zoomed in. It's not that much of a situation, is it? I think we've basically seen all of the file cards. It's all either reused, kind of like old school cards, or it is something that we saw with the Viper Gunner, which their bios I think were out back when they were doing the promotions for it. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, there's the artwork that they shared as well. And like I said, I feel like they've gone too harsh over the old shadow there. And even some of the shadows on the arms might be a little bit too intense as well. But I think if they'd lightened up a little bit on some of that exterior sort of like detail and shadow and blast and everything, I think this would be an absolute belter. But as is, it's very much pushed it into sort of cartoony vibes, hasn't it? A little bit, considering this is a comic call out as well. Yeah. Anyway, Lady J as well. So nice. Obviously, we had the 250th Lady J, which effectively was a pre-tool, wasn't it? Pre-deco of this version of Lady J, which we were all, I suppose, expecting after seeing the 250th one. I personally was expecting a Canary Anne, and who knows, we might still get a Canary Anne at some point. I've been calling out for that figure for the longest time, and I feel like it's, we get really close. We got that Canary Anne deco on Lady J with the what are they called? Oh goodness me, the statues. Bushido. Anyway, I want Canary Anne at some point. But this is a nice one. This is a nice Lady J figure. And yeah, different, obviously, head sculpt. She's not wearing the hat. So, and a better head sculpt than, I think we've had this in the comic packs, like a hatless Lady J in the comic packs as well. But it was a very small head, I want to say. Like, it wasn't a great figure. So I think this one is definitely an upgrade on that particular figure. And she comes with a spear and her, obviously, spearheads and quiver, which is pretty dope as well. And there she is on the card art, and it's the kind of like the OG art that's been sort of semi like changed by taking the hat off. Or does the card art have? No, she's wearing a hat in the card art, I think, as well. Either way, there you go, Lady J, lovely stuff. And then, of course, we have Zartan. This one, I definitely think has grown on me. I think initially I was like, do we need this? And I kind of I'm looking at it, I'm like, actually, he's kind of cool. Definitely evokes that sort of comic design and how everything was very shiny on him and everything. Dustin, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. You've asked any female dreadnoks other than Zanya for 2026? No, I don't think so. Not for 2026. Does that help, Dustin? Thank you for the super chat, though. I appreciate it. Anyway, yeah. So this is, it's a cool kind of figure and vibe. But initially I was kind of like, I don't think this is necessary. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, actually, this is really cool. I like this. I like covering this base as well with the comic. And yeah, I think he looks dope. But not just that. He changes color. Sunshine makes him go funny colors. So that's awesome. Yeah, brilliant. So Super 7 are continuing that sort of like color change theme that they do like to do with Zartan. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. And he comes with his bow with the little, was it the heart rate monitor sort of scanner where you could kind of see his heartbeats on the little readout for when he takes out the old master. And there's his quiver as well. Although, actually, no, we had this conversation, didn't we? And Mark pointed out very, very clearly that it looked more like Zartan from the Serpentor issue where he kills Serpentor by firing an arrow into his eye. Spoiler alert. Wait, isn't that the guy who's dating Gem? I like that hits. That's brilliant. It is, yeah. Sort of. But anyway, there's Zartan, and he gets that kind of like individual card, which is a rarity. He has had individual cards since his original figure came with the chameleon, of course. He was an individual carded figure in Japan, and that's where we first got this sort of like artwork for him, I believe. Or it was effectively artwork that was not utilized and was used in Japan for him. But yeah, and again, it's just mimicking the pose. The actual artwork is very different because he's obviously got different equipment and he looks very different in terms of the design. So yeah, they've just got him sort of in that funny sort of pose, that running pose. But he's not being followed by his mask this time. That weird mask that he likes to rock. There you go, and there's the back of his card as well. Now we've got the Cobra Gunner, the Viper Gunner, is it? And this is obviously the Viper body with the sort of like pilot helmet vibe. This was originally going to come with the mothership. That obviously was a crowdfunder and did not fund. And it was one of those things where we all wondered, are we going to see this? Is it going to come out at some point? And I think we all kind of expected at some stage in the Reaction Plus line, if it was successful enough, that they would, we would get this figure kind of appear. And also there's another kind of grey redeco, isn't there, as well, which they were going to release with the airship as well. But alas, didn't happen. And so I wonder if we'll get that. I wonder if we'll get that redeco down the line. We may, it'd be cool if we got a Pet Python Patrol version of one of these. I think would be kind of cool. But yeah, anyway. And then we, of course, we've got the card art. Shout out to Adam Riches, who did that card art originally. And there is the file card as well, which I can't actually remember if there were. I think there were bios knocking about for the Viper Gunner in the kind of promotional marketing materials, but I don't really recall reading it or knowing anything about the Viper Gunner. So I will read this later in my own leisure, which you guys can do as well. There we go. Gonna be hard to keep a low profile with his face plastered all over those teen magazines, says Scott. That's a good point. Yeah, for Zartan. We'll grab the Zartan, says Andrew. It's a cool figure, actually. I quite like it. Cropstar says, since Lady J was in the Reaction line, will we see the 3-pack Cobra Escape now? Cobra Escape. Since Lady J was in the Reaction line, will we see the 3-pack Cobra? Oh, the Cobra Commander, Destro, and the Baroness in costume, right? I would. That's what you're talking about, right, Cropstar? I would adore that. That set was amazing, and the packaging was on point, and that subway train packaging. Oh, if that's what you're talking about, then great, sweet, okay, cool. Yes, I would love that. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I think that's got to be on the cards. I think anything that's happened in Reaction sort of should happen in Reaction Plus at some point. I kind of feel like that should happen in the future. But anyway. Oh, I've gone too far. That's it. So the pre-orders went, not pre-orders, orders went up. They're in stock, so you can just order these, and they'll probably be with you in a couple of days. Super 7 website, of course, super7.com. Go nuts. Yeah, that was it. I think that we got to the end of that, and now we're at classified. We've got a few. Like, I'm not going to linger too much on the fan stream reaction. I'll just say, because obviously there's a lot to get into there, but there's been a lot of like other news that's come out recently, some important stuff that I want to go over with you guys. So let's do that right this second now. Yeah, so I am going to talk a little bit about the fan stream, but first and foremost, BMAC has been heavy posting on the old stories today, hasn't he? He's been a very busy boy. So, also the Skybound interview went up earlier today, or was it yesterday? It went up at some point, like recently, and I think it was yesterday, and that was a really good one with Joshua Williamson and Tom Riley. So that was kind of cool. Now, BMAC has also been, because he did that interview as well, has also been posting this stuff. So he let us know that Hooded Cobra Commander with Throne was going to go back up for pre-order in the US at 1 p.m. Eastern today, June the 12th on Hasbro Pulse. Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and where fine toys are sold, because this is a fan channel. Not to be confused with Fanmazon, which is fan channel and Amazon. And then you have Amazon just on its own sometimes. So Amazon have had exclusives in the past. Fanmazon is when it's Amazon and all those fan channels, and fan channel is just when it's just the fan channels. I don't believe this is. I might be wrong. This might be on Amazon as well, but that would be confusing because why wouldn't they call it Fanmazon availability? They didn't mention Amazon in any of the other available sort of streams and stuff. So yeah, he's still available on Pulse right this second, guys. It's been 6 hours and 13 minutes and it's still there. So if you want to get one, go nuts. Yeah, and one of the things that BMAX said to me and of course to the public was that he wanted to make sure people were able to get this one. He didn't want this to be one of those ones where it was like hidden behind a bit of exclusivity, and a little bit difficult to kind of get hold of or sold out immediately. So they've, the fact they ran this, again based on the pre-order sales from the first batch, then I'm very confident that everyone who wants one will get one. White, you're referring to Adam Riches, who posted their time-lapse card art for the Viper Gunner. Yeah, Adam Riches did the artwork for the Viper Gunner. I noticed the initial offering says ships November, and this new one says ships December 1st. So if thinking of switching vendors, maybe consider that. Yeah. I'm waiting for the retro card hooded Cobra Commander now, says Ryan. I mean, that's not a bad shout, is it really? Like if you I think there's a high likelihood at some point hood that in the future you'll probably see that. Now I don't have, usually I could do a nod wink wink or something, right? But I don't actually know if that's on the cards anytime soon. But I would be really surprised. It kind of feels a little bit like the Ripcord scenario. Everyone goes on about Ripcord. Where's Ripcord? We should have regular Ripcord by now. I will get him. We'll get him eventually. It's just a matter of waiting it out. And I think for those that just want like a hooded Cobra Commander, not with throne and what have you, I'm sure that'll happen in the future as well. You know what I mean? But I think the hook on this one though is the fact that he comes with so many cool things, mainly a massive cool throne. When will we get a hooded Action Man? That would be insane. Blitz is just ordered. Good work. Hopefully retro would have better boots. Well, they'd probably make some changes to it. I like the build on this though, I have to say, Dicos. I think it suits this particular Cobra Commander. But yeah, I'm sure there would be there'd be a change up to make him like a like a retro version hooded Cobra Commander. Scott says, I think they went fan channel with this to avoid stores refusing to carry the hood. Zemo was Amazon exclusive, probably for the same reason. Yeah, maybe. I also think it really does not. It does not it really doesn't evoke that sort of stuff to me. I don't think a lot of people really have that sort of feeling about it. Like this kind of came out, and I don't know if I kind of expected maybe a little bit more pushback, but no, it's I kind of feel like it's a bit overblown in that it's nothing like what people really were kind of insinuating, and the same with Zemo, I think. But again, like they found a way to do it and it's out there and fans can have it and we can all stop crying about it now. Genuinely, like, please move on to the next one. What is it now? It's Flash at the moment, isn't it? Flash is the one that's got everyone in a tizzy. I say that's been the case for a while now. But can I just say, guys, I would be very surprised, nod, nod, wink, wink, if we don't get Flash this year, nod, nod, wink, bloody wink, okay? Okay? So, yeah, there's always one figure or version of a character or whatever that is like, why haven't we got this yet, sort of thing. So, we've got this one now, so it's going to be reutilized at some point. Like, I imagine, like, what's it called, like a maybe a retro release, maybe something, I don't know, maybe something where we get another hooded kind of redeco or something. I imagine that like they're going to do all the flavors, right? You're going to get the black kind of talking battle commanders one. You're going to get crimson probably. I don't know. It's probably going to happen honestly at some point. Um no. I will say that I'm guessing we'll see Flash at some point this year. Will it be Yojo June? I don't know, but it will. Don't worry, Flash is gonna happen. All right, like it's one that's been constantly talked about, and I get it. You know, like we all have our favorites, and we all have ones that, again in this case, completes the OG 13. I love the fact that he's still pushing. BMAC has said on multiple channels now, multiple times, he said Shooter needs to get in there. It's like crazy pants that he like. If we don't see Shooter on like a retro card or something as an OG 13 sort of vibe, I'll be super surprised. Why aren't the Wares Flash crowd calling for a non-Night Force shoe? Don't worry, BMAC is giving them all of the information for that one, isn't he? Like he is literally saying that he needs to have that. Do you have dust in your eye? I do not, Snodrich. I was just wink, nod, wink, winking. Flash with chair and water bucket, the Flash dance set, SDCC. Amazing. For a second there, I thought you were referring to the chair and water bucket where he's peeling potatoes in, is it Order of Battle? That, which obviously was the basis of the the Super 7 version, wasn't it? Which is hilarious to me. I hope the reissue gets the the cords around the arm addressed correctly. I'm sure you probably wouldn't have them. You might not even have them at all. But the cord situation can be remedied by anybody who has the figure. It's very simple. I've seen it done. A little bit of heat, and then just at the where the bicep meets the shoulder joint, that'll come out, and you can poke it through where it needs to be, and then you can pop it back on there. So don't worry, it's doable. It's easy fix. It's a hairdry scenario. Done and dusted. Obviously be careful, but it's very, very simple and easy to get the and it's also it's weird because there's like two sets of ropes or cords. Basically you have this sort of shorter outer group and then a longer group that go under the arm itself, so you have to kind of get it kind of in between that little segment. But yeah, it's pretty obvious when it comes to it, because the shorter cords, you can't fit an arm through it. Right then, there you go. So that's Cobra Commander, which is available now at Pulse and everywhere else that I just mentioned. Now we've had recent US port arrivals, which is cool. So Retro Mom, Dad, and Misspell, which is Wild Bill, Techno Viper, and Grunt, have all landed in US port today. Actually, I think it was. Or at least that's the information was from today or yesterday. It might have been yesterday. Either way, I got the information today. So that is now updated, including as well her Dorno, which is a Grand Slam with the HAL, which is cool that we're getting that as well, sort of like landing. And her Tundro, which I can reveal, not fully, but I can say is a Pulse vehicle listing. That's all we know about it. Well, that's all we can say about it. So it isn't. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, clearly it's the Vamp Mark II." No, the Vamp Mark II is a different listing, and we already know that the Vamp Mark II. If you go in the Vamp Mark II and you download one of the images, for example, download an image of the Vamp Mark II. The file name will have the internal code word on it, which is her Tammy or whatever it is. I can't remember what it is called now. But yeah, I think people are going to be very excited for this one, and I assume we're either going to. It's not what you're thinking, Doc or Andrew. It's not that, but that might be something that happens in the future. It's also not the Vamp Mark 1 reissue, Scott. That's hilarious. No, we know what it is. I just can't say what it is. So yeah, trust me on that one. The I don't know if it's going to be revealed in what's the word? I'm not sure it's going to be revealed in Yojo June or if it's going to be like an SDCCCCC thing. So it's just a matter of, you know, waiting and seeing. If obviously anything comes out, if we get like sort of like a name only, if we get anything like that, then obviously we'll unlock the listing. But as it is, we're just going to have to wait until it's kind of revealed or name only to kind of unlock it. But the fact that it's in port is very promising, and it's also freaking awesome. But I would say that about everything, wouldn't I? Because I'm an absolute Hillary Clinton up in here. Anyway, that is that. It's obviously the road toad, Paul. It's obviously the road toad or the buzzball. I like that you were like, "Here come the guesses," and then you're the one doing all the guesses. Blitz looking into the import a little bit strong there, mate. No, unfortunately not. Anyway, yes. So recent US port arrivals, very cool stuff, and I think people are going to be very excited when it's revealed. Is that a classified action man you have on your desk? Why? Yes, it is. Not on this desk. Anyway, moving on. We also got these beautiful pictures from BMAC, who to show us just how bloody massive the Fatal Fluffy is. The biggest figure in the line, by the way. Bigger than Deep Six, also. Deep Six is in between these two, basically. But yeah, the Fatal Fluffy dwarfs every figure in the line. He's bigger than Big Lob, comfortably bigger than Big Lob. And Big Lob is the largest figure or the tallest figure in the line by I think about like a millimeter. He's like a millimeter taller than Nemesis Immortal. So yeah. Anyway, look at the size of the feckin' thing. It's huge. So yeah, I think this is like the perfect size for a Fatal Fluffy in the classified series. Like this is what it should be. And I think they've done a phenomenal job on this figure. He's awesome. And yeah. And then Tiny Snake Eyes. Hold me closer, Tiny Snake Eyes. Next. What's next? Yojo June. Right. So I'm not even going to really talk about much of this because we've kind of already gone through everything. So in the news burst, and we obviously went into massive detail, and I've already done like an hour and 22 on this one. So I'm going to just basically cover the cliff notes on the Yojo June fan stream 2 from this week, if that's cool with you guys. So of course we had Grand Slam with the Howl. And some lovely promo images of that. Another massive sort of like towable, I guess, station playset. I don't know what you call it. It's not a vehicle because it doesn't move on its own volition, right? So I guess it would be called just a gun emplacement, right? A stationary playset, I guess it is in terms of toys. But yeah, there's Grand Slam and the Howl. Now, I think, Grand Slam, how can I put this? It's just a little bit, it's Grand Slam. I've never really been that, deeply connected with the OG13 because I was jumping in a little bit later on in the line. So the OG13 was definitely kind of something that I didn't know until like, going back and seeing it after the fact. But it's obviously great to kind of tick a box in this one. The Howl for me is the standout for me here. Grand Slam is a bit of a bonus, and I'm just a little bit sort of like I feel like the pads aren't doing it for me without the border, because he had an ever so like a very subtle silver border around the red pads on the original figure, and I kind of feel like it's quite iconic. So for that not to be on there, it's a vehicle if it's on a slope. That's genius, Ryan. I guess it is. Michael Taylor, Chris, are you revealing anything this year like last year you had the exclusive reveal? Not that I'm aware of, no. Certainly not for Yojo June, and I would probably have found out about SDCC by now. So yeah, nothing with the classified team as far as I'm aware. But I may have some fun, cool news. I may be doing a little something with Super 7, which is kind of fun. So yeah, so I'll be doing a little something with Super 7 in the future. I'm not going to say any more, but just keep them peeled. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, won't we? Hits me says, yeah, silver like he has a plate under the red pads. Yeah, so again, it's a little thing, but it's something that really it kind of confused me a little bit looking at it. Like I couldn't quite work out what I wasn't fully getting on board with. Do you know what I mean? Carded Grand Slam gets the correct colours, says JP Arthur. Possibly. there might be like a retro version of it. I mean, we have had retro versions of OG 13 figures, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility, is it at all? But yeah, okay. I sent you another super chat question. It disappeared. Don't super chat it then. Just send me the question and I'll read it. How's that sound, Dustin? You don't have to. I appreciate it very much, but I'm trying to read every comment as much as I can. So if you send me another one with your question on it, you don't have to put any payment on it. Just send me the question and I'll try and see if I can catch it. I'm happy to be getting him, but he's not an obsession for me at all, says Blitz. And I feel a similar way on that one. But I think for me, yeah, the HAL is crazy cool. And I really like the thought of, locking it up with the Vamp or the Ore Striker or something like that. Ore Striker is going to be a little bit large, isn't it? And also I've already got the Vamp dealing with the MMS, so it's going to have to be the Vamp Mark II. It's going to have to be the Vamp Mark II lug in this, which is cool. We can have color discrepancies. That's totally cool. Paul says, Hasbro having issues with borders, pads, retro card backs. Yeah, true. Need a flat cannon now and a lore, says Michael. Indeed. I would be down for retro or classified driver pilot packs for those of us with space restrictions. I mean, geez, yeah. I mean, it is getting beyond a joke now, isn't it? in a good way, but it's also kind of ridiculous. Can I just say as well, I want to say a couple of things here. One, classified series ain't going anywhere. Like it's gonna, obviously Lenny and Tony were huge, members of that team, shall we say, Kitty said, who did an amazing job, a lot of passion and a lot of amazing talent in there. Classified though is not going to go anywhere. It's going to keep churning awesome stuff out. And I feel like as a fandom, we're all going to be, consuming it like absolute fiends. Any female? I have already answered that question for you, Dustin. You did post it. I put it on screen and I answered it for you. So you've actually put that through twice now. And I gave you my answer. It is a no. Again, I appreciate the super chat very much, and I'll put it on screen again because you have obviously done it again. But I just want you to be aware that this is the second time now that you've done this. I've put it on screen twice. Very awesome of you. Thank you very much. But if you just want a question in there, I will get to it. Don't you worry. Any female dreadnought other than Zanya for 2026? Not that I'm aware of. No. But there's another year coming up. I won't answer that question, Doc, directly. But yeah. Okay. And then of course we had it in the studio. Hal and Grand Slam, which is cool. And there's Dan showing it off. Lovely stuff. Get a shot of his tum-tum. And there's the box. Nice box, but again, this is something I've been saying a lot recently, and that is I'm getting a little bit upset that we're not seeing cool homage in the render images or in the promo images. Like we've really dropped off in a massive way in hiding things in the background. And I genuinely think the issues that we are kind of like, the issues that Hasbro are going through at the moment have got a lot to do with that. I genuinely think it's just a personnel situation. It's like, I feel like BMAC's doing pretty much a lot of work, isn't he? If you've been saying nice box a lot lately, Chris, expect a call from HR. Indeed. Looks like the Sky Striker eagle on Dan's shirt is landing on the blast effects of the HAL. I didn't notice that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does. Amazing. That's good. That was a good screenshot I took there. Did not even. Yeah. Yes, it does swing 360 degrees, Wilfredo. I forgot to mention that. On the news burst in the week, someone asked that question. I didn't know. I asked the question. I didn't get an answer until after the stream, but I did get an answer. And yes, it does spin 360 degrees, which is great. Who was in the other HAL? I did not check, actually, Bobber. I have a shot of it on the phone, I think, here, but I don't think I have been able to ascertain who it is. Might just be like a generic character, but that could be the homage, couldn't it? But that is a sucky way to do it because like we have no way of really seeing what it could be, or I don't know. In any case, yeah, it's a 360 spinner. We definitely need more female Dreadnought figures. Good opportunity to create a new character. Interesting. Yeah, I like your thought process there, Slave. Synthoid Grand Slam is the other one. Hilarious, Yorktown Joe. Anyway, there we go. And of course, the back of the box to show all the bits and pieces and a little bit of assembly, which is nice. That's cool. The other HAL has Silver Pads Grand Slam. Oh, nice one, JR Parker. I like that too. Hello, Adam Shark Eyes in the chat. How you doing, buddy? I'm just, talking about stuff for the 937th time, as I do, on a long form streaming platform. Is Kitty alive in the box or not? You have to check. True. It's was it Pavlov? No, not Pavlov's dog. I'm getting the cat in a box thing mixed up with Pavlov's dog there. I forget what that's called now. What's the other one? What's the cat one called in the box? Is it dead? Is it alive? Is it both? It's that whole. Anyway, what am I talking about? Schrodinger's cat. Thank you. Right then. Doing okay, mate, despite a torn meniscus as a result of an English staffy running headfirst into me leg, says Adam Shark Eyes. That sucks, man. I hope you get well soon. That's a rough injury right there, bud. Anyway, moving on from that, and obviously have all of my thoughts are with you. Fix up, look sharp, heal up is what I need to say on that one. Yeah, get better, get well soon. The Vamp Mark II with tan clutch, although he's not as tan skin-wise as I'd have liked. It'd been so funny if they'd just put clutch in again, but changed just his skin tone. Like someone misunderstands the tan clutch element and just like gives him darker skin. There you go. I tanned clutch, and then it's like the same figure. Just he'd been on the sunbed for a few hours. But there you go. The Vamp Mark II, a nice addition, and we have had obviously confirmation that it is a kind of like a retool, a smaller version, and all sorts of the Snowcat kind of like sculpt, basically. So they've made a smaller, kind of more vampy version of that Snowcat kind of missile rack, which obviously is much, much bigger. Every time I see this vamp, it makes me want chocolate milk, says you ate it. I did, and also now I want chocolate milk as well. Sunburn clutch, indeed, Doc. Yeah. And yes, check out Shark Eyes reviews on YouTube. I think everyone does, NJ, Eddie. I think literally everyone does, especially in this chat. Little Joe news for you. Retro Wild Bill Grunt and Techno Viper arriving in Oz this week. Yeah, we've just kind of broke the news of it landing in US port the other day, Adam. So yeah, we covered that on the US side, but nice to know they're also hitting Australia. Australia, mate. Perfect, right? Yeah, there you go. In case anybody new in it is here, true, NJ. Yeah, might be some people new in here that don't or have never heard of Shark Eyed Toy View. Go check it out. A Shark Eyed Toy View on YouTube, please and thank you. Right, let's zip through these because it's just hand clutch and the vamp with a different weapon system that we've kind of seen before, and no less. I'm still excited for it though. Don't get me wrong. It's just I need to wrap this up. It's I've got to go to bed at some point. Beautiful vehicle. Love the deco on this one. It's going to be great for my desert kind of display, which has been proper bleak until very recently, where we got like Sarge and is that it? Pretty much just the Sarge in it. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to Bobby B as well. And also there we have the in studio shots as well. Very cool. And at least the box has got desert scorpions on it. So at least there's that. At least they went a little bit, they gave us a little bit more on this particular one. Yeah. And then there's the back. We've been here. We know what's going on. We know the drill. Right now, Action Man, of course. I won't linger because I did talk about this for ages. I am so excited about this. I genuinely couldn't get my hat on when I heard about this that coming down the pike. And yeah, it's just amazing. The one thing that is confusing though is that rifle keeps showing up in all the promo images and it's not part of the figure or the loadout. So it's weird that happened. Must have been costed out. Is the only thing I can think about that. I haven't actually asked the question, but that's all I can really think of here. But it's I love the use of Outback obviously here for the main figure. The head sculpts are gorgeous. Love the hat and the headset, but also love the kind of the classic Action Man head. What Kitty said. I would love to see Dr. X, mate. I love to see Dr. X, especially Toxic Gut Dr. X, please and thank you. I do not believe that you only bought one. I did genuinely. What I don't need more than one, mainly because there's already one on my desk at work. Is the rifle from another figure, or would it have been a new sculpt if it was included? I believe it's the Recondo rifle, and has seen a couple of reuses in different, well, other than Recondo as well. But yeah, Natalie Poole would be amazing slave. Yes. Dr. X would be insane. Toxic Gut Dr. X would be like my all-time favorite one for them to do, and package it upside down as well. If they're gonna do such a heavy packaging homage, which they did with this beauty, then that would be great. Love all these promo shots. I love the gear, the mixture of Alpine and Outback's gear make for a complete set of like actual mountain climbing gear. Like the fact that Alpine doesn't have everything he needs and Outback now doesn't have everything he needs, I kind of feel like they all need to be rocking this complete set of gear. It might be one of those things we have to go out and buy multiple Outbacks and Alpines in order to sort of like create more gear for both of those figures. Recondo is kind to loan gear out, but he always asks for it back, says Yorktown Joe. Any possibilities of alternate Action Man outfits like the blue one he had in the cartoon? I personally, I'd love it. Kind of really, I imagine it depends on how well this does, really, more than anything else. They did obviously, it's quite a big release in the UK and Europe as well, isn't it? They've kind of made a big deal out of it as well there. But I don't know. I guess it kind of all depends on how well it does. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for this. I love it. I want to see more Action Man stuff, not just in classified series, but also in the classified series. But I want to see him show up everywhere. I want to see him show up in Reaction. I want to see him show up in Skybound Comics. Just show up, man. You're Action Man, the greatest hero of them all. Love it. Great shots here. Very people were saying very kind of Ethan Hunt, and I get that for sure. Very Tom Cruise looking, but I mean it's a pretty boy with black slick hair. I mean it's actually it's modeled on the classic, that kind of 90s early 2000s Action Man. It's not and that just happens to be a very similar vibe, doesn't it? But again, I definitely see it. It's definitely kind of feels a little bit kind of Mission Impossible. And he is very spy-like as well, so it kind of makes sense. Love all the orange as well. The orange on the gears just absolutely makes this figure pop. When he's all geared up, he's got the rope, he's got all the kind of carabiners and the picks and all of the torch, flashlight, the dagger, the pistol, all the little orange flashes and everything, the strap on his rifle, the shovel, the cap. It's just freaking awesome. I love him. I love him. And these shots perfect. These two next to each other are giving me proper MC Escher painting vibes here. Like the way that the rocks merge into each other has kind of created a bit of an optical illusion that's doing me head in. But it's great. Love it. And a couple more shots of him climbing as well. They definitely had a lot of fun here, didn't they? Matt and Corey had a lot of fun with these. I'll actually have to find out who shot all the pictures, but I assume Matt and Corey are doing everything at the moment. So there, and then got this classic as well. That one on the right was the first image I saw of this, and I was like, I'm not going to say I cried. I didn't cry. I'm not that bad, and I am an emotional person. I will cry at like a car commercial or whatever. But this was one of those things where I was just like, the nostalgia was like, oh, I love it, just so good, so good. Action Man is such a low effort British style name for him. M.I. Limey would have been much better. It's like He-Man, isn't it? Show up, do action, be man, job done, you action man. Indeed. When you look at the live action sequences from the cartoon, it resembles a British actor who played him. Yeah, it was Trojan, the gladiator, wasn't it? Which was great, actually. That was such a perfect casting, that. Double O Orange, Scott, indeed. Anyway, yeah, really, really excited about this. Really happy about it. Did Hasbro have you sign the MI6 contract not to reveal Action Man on penalty of death? St. Brutus. That's amazing lore. And I'm going to go with that. Should we just say that's true? It's Tuesday, innit, man? Says SFNG. Anyway, yeah, Action Man's great. And there's one more shot of him looking in a cave. It would have been really cool to get some other little homage or something coming in the future, but oh well. Alas, we missed out on quite a lot of background homage stuff, but at least the posing and the diorama kind of sets are sort of back in play a little bit, and this one looks great and I really love it. And there he is in the studio. Packaging as well, just out of this world. Look at that. It's so evocative of the original packaging. It's just glorious. The little explosion call out as well, just great stuff. And then on the back as well, more little explosion call outs from the makers of G.I. Joe Classified series. So it's not numbered. It's not technically, a classified series figure in a weird way. It is an Action Man classified collab, I guess. And it's crazy, isn't it? So awesome. And the artwork's really nice too. I think, is this an Oliver Barrett job? I can't recall. Or Scott Johnson. This could be Scott Johnson, couldn't it? I don't know though, because I haven't chased that up yet. Either way, I believe that might be Scott Johnson art, right? It looks like it, doesn't it? I'll have to reach out to Scott, we had an interview with not long ago, does amazing work. And I love this. It's brilliant. The crown is removable, Huntress. Absolutely. Right then. That we also obviously got render reveals for Yojo June. The Legacy Avalanche Response, which again is a really cool figure. I love the deco on this. Obviously, there's the reuse in terms of Snowjob's equipment, some dock accessories like the stretcher and the pistol and the flare gun and the taser. And then, of course, you've got a lot of Snowjob stuff. Then the heads, I believe, is it infantry balaclavas? I want to say. I can't remember. I think it's infantry balaclavas. And is that a sleeve, Prophet? On where are we looking? Is what a sleeve? He's got the hood up and hood down accessories from Snowjob. He's got the skis, the ski poles, the snowshoes, the backpack, the helmet from Wolf Spider with the night vision goggles option on there, fold down option, and the glorious dock stretcher, which in that kind of candy orangey red and the blue and white mountain mountain patrol logo is very, very, very cool indeed. I like this, and it's got a oh, do you know what? You say Arctic Action Man Prophet, but I have a 3 and 3, well, 4-inch modern 4-inch unreleased 50th anniversary winter Action Man, where he's got winter jacket and everything. What do you think I'm going to be doing with this bad boy? I'm 100% getting me an Action Man Arctic. I'm 100% getting a few of these to do some actual proper customs for a change, because I'm making tons of Action Man for sure, for sure, for sure. Anyway, Venom, no, actually, this is an Arctic response. This isn't a military. This is a rescue person. So there's got nothing to do with the military. So it makes more sense than it would be if it was white. They have to be seen. This is based on actual, Arctic response sort of, rescue basically. So yeah. So in actual fact, this makes perfect sense. So does he just put the injured person on the stretcher and then send them down the mountain like they were on a toboggan? He probably would walk them down, strap them to himself, and then slowly make his way down, dragging them behind him. Is probably what he would do. And there probably would be more than just one person doing it. It wouldn't be just one guy going out there and utilizing a stretcher. So you'd have to buy more of them to make it work. I'm really not a fan of Doc's stretcher. It folds the wrong way for me. What do you mean? Oh, do you mean because the hinges are like exposed on the other side? Is that why? I've never really had an issue with it. In fact, my Outback's using mine because he got injured. Does the stretcher fit on the pack? No, it does not, because the backpack is just the snow job backpack. So it's one of those things where you can have one or the other, not both, on the back. But you can't really carry all of his gear in that sense. You can carry most of it, but obviously you're going to be multiple heads, different hood options. Yeah. So yeah, it does buckle when you set it down for sure. Oh no, sorry, it buckles when you set it down is what you're saying. I do not have that problem. So you might just have a loosey goosey. I do not have that problem when I set it down, or have a figure on it either. And then of course we have Dusty and Sandstorm, which is another cool little render. And now I would imagine that if we're going with patterns, that these two will be up for pre-order next week. Just saying. Expectation set. There you go. I've ever tried dragging a man on a litter. No, I haven't. This is a cool figure, says Prophet. Darude and Sandstorm, indeed. All right. Brilliant. Yeah, I think this Dusty looks great. I love the beret. I love this version of Dusty. Actually, I've always been a fan of this like vintage version of him as well. Obviously, Animal Companion. Really odd to me that they took a shot from the front for Sandstorm and not like a sort of semi sort of side view of him like they do with the others. It does kind of make him look a bit funny, but he does look great. So there's nothing to fear there. But obviously from this angle, it's just a little bit, he looks a little bit goofy, doesn't he? And yeah, it's a coyote and we're getting another Animal Companion. So I'm more than happy on this one. And I think they did it really well. Scott Johnson did Dusty's art, said Scott. Did he? That's cool. I like the Masters Real Zim. That is that's been in the line already, hasn't it? I think that mask. I think so anyway. But yeah, very cool indeed. And yes, perfect foil, perfect for the Vamp Mark II. Agreed, Nictimus. Agreed. More info needed on Sandstorm. He'll be fine. Don't worry. He looks great. Yeah, it's just weird that they took that direct front shot on the render. Very weird. Now, leak listings 2026. I've just updated it from Newsburst, so no changes since then. We have all of the pre-order stuff in green now that's been up for pre-order and kind of been and gone. And we still have some yellow elements left. Now, I did mention that the Avalanche Rescue and Dusty and Sandstorm are most likely going to show up for pre-order next week on the next week's stream, which means we'll probably find out or see renders for the figures for the following week's pre-orders set up. We have 5 spots remaining following Dusty and Avalanche Rescue. So to me, I'd be very surprised if it wasn't the remaining 5-figure wave group there: Mistress Armada, Iceberg, Rugged Duke, Toxo Viper, and the unknown character there as well. I'd be surprised if it wasn't that. So last stream of the month, expect that. As a man in the know, are there any Tiger Force figures on the horizon? Not that I've seen or aware of Toys of the Jedi, which makes me sad, of course. The ask might be new. Desert Scorpions is a faceplate. Oh, right. The mask might be new. Was it not with a crankcase? That's what I thought it came with. I wasn't thinking a Desert Scorpion. Is Sandstorm on your desk as well? No, but I have seen Sandstorm and he's adorable. I love him. Do you know what the 3 above the inactive are? They're probably also inactive. Don't worry about them. I'll probably just put inactive. I'll probably just make a bigger inactive group soon because I believe they are all inactive. The mask is actually new. Okay, cool. Thank you, Darren. Do you know, what is it, Chris? Give us a tiny teaser. Is Stupendous male or female? I'm not saying. Since we haven't seen Iceberg yet, any chance that we might be getting the Orca version? We're not getting the Orca version, no. It's Iceberg, as you know him, version 1. Hey, Chris, I accidentally deleted the email you sent me. No. They are taking that. I see what you're doing, Bad Wolf. You're trying to trick me. I get it. My dog bumped into my Tiger Force display and they all fell. That sucks. And he hasn't done that yet, but my stuff falls all the time. I need to pose them properly and better. Anyway, so no changes 2026. Nothing new on 2027 either. I think we'll start revealing, these will start getting unlocked with later kind of things like SDCC, I imagine. And then maybe in the fall when we get all of like the fall kind of stuff, cons and what have you. So no changes, nothing to really get into there, I'm afraid. And then name only reveals. We have obviously, here we are: Iceberg, Night Force Psych Out, Rugged Duke, Lara Croft, Toxo Viper, and Mistress Armada. I imagine Iceberg, Rugged Duke, Toxo Viper, and Mistress Armada will be removed from here by next week, and then also maybe moved on to this one, the digital renders and revealed figures. This might build up a little bit next week, and then we'll lose 2, I think, in Dusty and Avalanche Response, but we'll gain, I assume, 5. They might do a thing as well where, you know how when they revealed, was it Sundown? It was like a silhouette. I think we might get another one of those. Just saying. Anyway, so excited to see Mistress Armada, Lara Croft 2. How has Iceberg not even gotten the digital treatment yet? Hasn't he been floating around for a year or so now? Yes, but only because they early revealed him, because it was around in and around the snow stuff that was being touted at the time, promoted, and they wanted to tell fans that to expect an Iceberg right ahead. Anyway, enough of that. That's the digital renders and revealed figures. No more. There aren't any teasers on the line, really, are there? I mean, I could probably put maybe a OG-13 shooter on there as like a teaser, or I know people are talking about the Mauler, but that really was the worst stretch ever, guys. I'm sorry. That I do not understand that as a hint. No, maybe on the Rattler patch more than anything. But when we found out we weren't getting a HasLab, I'm like, well, probably not going to see a Mauler anytime soon. What else? I think that's it. Right, let's call it a day, kind of. We're going to go into shout outs. Let's do it. Battle Action Force, the Deluxe Treasure Editions, I've already kind of mentioned those earlier in the episode. Go get them at totaltoybooks.com in the UK and Europe, Skeletron.com in the US, and Amazon everywhere else. They are beautiful, wonderful. In fact, I had the volumes out earlier today, and I was perusing volume 2, which I haven't finished yet. I'm going through them very slowly and carefully. But I did have a quick sit down and read a couple of pages while I was in the middle of organizing and cleaning. So there you go. Beautiful compendiums, wonderful pieces. And Brian Hickey outdid himself on that one. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Total Toy Books. And Total Action Force Volume 3 is just around the corner as well. I'm so excited for that. Shout out to Chris's parents. I'm pretty sure at least one is watching. Not at 8 o'clock in the evening here. Like 1 in the morning there. My mum and dad go to bed at 6 or whatever in the evening. Shout out to my mum and dad anyway. Yeah, they're wonderful people. Literally just got my Ninja Force Zartan, says Nictimus. Got my Ninja Force Zartan and 2 Dire Night Creepers, so I'm going to bust them out later as well. More likely HasLabs return next year or never? Don't know actually, JR Parker. I assume it's maybe to just see how it goes this year, and then when they've run the numbers, I guess they'll make a decision going into the next year. But it's one of those things where it's such a lock for classified, isn't it, that I'm surprised they don't do it, because that seems to be what Hasbro tend to do. What I think happened though is that they maybe found out that they could do just as well by increasing the line plan in the year with other things. So obviously we haven't seen everything for the rest of the year yet, have we? There's more to come. So I think people are they're gonna be satiated, is what I would say. I don't think we're not gonna get to the end of this year and go, man, could have done with a $500, $400, $500 friggin' HasLab this year. I don't think people are going to be saying that at the end of the year. I think people are going to be very happy with what they end up having this year. Because I mean, so many big sets and vehicles that it's getting kind of ridiculous now. But anyway, shout out to Articulated Points, to Phil and Pat. I'll be talking with Pat and Adam very soon on our next episode of the O-Ring Roundup, which we've got a lot to do and a lot to cover, but we can't wait. We're probably going to wait until after Joe Fest for that episode, because there's probably going to be a lot to come out of Joe Fest. But we're building it at the moment. It's going to be a bumper episode, and we're very excited to keep doing that show. We really enjoy that one. So Pat will be back on your screens very soon, of course. And shout out to Phil as well. They just the last episode was a continuation of the manga that Phil managed to pick up. So more G.I. Joe manga. If you're interested in that sort of history of G.I. Joe as well, get in there. Also, shout out to Codename Iowa. Shout out to Brian Sauer, our wonderful graphics guy, and more, of course. But yeah, go check out codenameiowa.com. And also, Assembly Required, November 13th and 14th, Des Moines, Iowa. The Fans in Command Space Chase is in full flow. That is the sort of fan vote, where you can get involved and choose the operatives that will be involved in the merch that show up at the show on the 13th and 14th. It's very, very cool, very fun, and an awesome little sort of interactive thing you can do. Go check out Assembly Required on their socials, and you'll get to see as well at the moment the current leaderboard of I forgot to put it on this particular episode. I'm sorry, guys, but they had a percentages of who was leading the way in the votes, and I think Outback was pretty far ahead. Outback and Sci-Fi were leading the way, which is unreal, isn't it? But it is for space, and obviously Outback, right? Sci-Fi makes more sense on that one. Anyway, shout out as well to Skeletron.com. Had an absolutely awesome conversation with Ben the other day as well. So shout out to Ben Conway. You can get your RoboSkull Mark IIs, of course, still. And I do believe the 4-inch Assault Troopers are still out of stock on their website, but they're showing up at lots of different conventions and shows. And of course, they'll have news for Joe Fest as well, no doubt. So we'll be talking to them very soon as well. That's it for me, guys. Thank you very much for joining on this Full Force Weekly episode, a day prior to its usual, although it has been on Fridays for about 4 or 5 weeks recently. So it is what it is. Thank you very much for joining me. Of course, I'll see you on the next one, which I guarantee it's going to be another big week in Yojo June. It's been non-stop actually. And I like it. It's cool. It's fun. But I also have another job to do, and it is crazy the amount of work I have to pull out of my bum every single day. Anyway, here we are. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. If you're a Patreon subscriber, Patreon backer, whatever you want to call it, if you're a patron of our show, SAS or Red Shadow Army level, I will see you guys on Sunday. And for everyone else, I will probably see you in the week, either for news bursts, for a movie news burst with Justin, if I can reach out to him and get that organized. Lots of cool stuff to come as well. And of course, the fan stream on Wednesday. So I'll see you then. If that's the next thing I see you at, then that is the next thing I see you at. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Latest. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full force.